Hello, this is Story Nexus here today to talk about a absolute banger of a book. My guy, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Rocafort, Kenneth Rocafort. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's take 2 seconds, which can take 2 seconds. I don't want y'all jumping off to the next video because it just took too damn long for me to show you something fucking cool. Chill out. Let me show you something. This is some of Mr. Rocafort that you adults out there can just click on this yourselves. But let's look at it together. So, Mr. Rocafort is a artist. Beneath the page. Okay. Kenneth Rocafort has to be, I would say, one of my absolute top artists. Now, when I first clicked on his stuff, it was because I was on the Comics Gate people's YouTube channels, and while I was on it, they started talking about it. Kenneth Rocafort's Kickstarter's coming out. Check it out. So as soon as you hear somebody that is a really good artist talk about another artist as being something that you need to look at, that's a key. Bing, 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 bing. Check them out. If artists think he is good, chances are you're going to enjoy it. So I took that logic and I went, let me look at this guy. So I started looking at his pages. I looked up Groken, because that's the name of the book. The name of the book is Groken. I started going through Mr. Rocafort's Kickstarter. Now, we're going to go quick with what happened to Kenneth Rocafort. Why is he not out making books right this second? Well, he does have his own book, and that's what we're talking about. Groken, which is a phenomenal book. It is an adventure book. It reminds me a lot of Dark Crystal. If you like Jim Henson's books, it really reminds me of like a Jim Henson kind of thing. But his lines are sharp, clean, but still smooth and relaxing. Some art comes out there where everything is so sharp and so like minute details are up there, and I love that. That's really fun. But it loses a little bit of that like calming, relaxing feeling when you start looking through the pages, where Kenneth Rocafort absolutely blows you away in that era. Okay, in that area of like calming you and yet like blowing your mind out with just completely cool art. Kenneth Rocafort does it in his coloring. And as I'm going through his biography on Wikipedia, you start to see that maybe he didn't, because there's a lot of colorists on his stuff, but his colors all have the same kind of feeling to them. They all have that really relaxing, calming feeling. Kenneth Rocafort was in a lot of books, a lot of good books. One of the books that I was really surprised that he was on was Teen Titans. He did like a whole run on Teen Titans. He was on Superman, and you could see his Superman is just, oh my God, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. I love it. So that is one to definitely check out. His Superman is so, I've never seen anything like it. And I'm not just trying to kiss his man's ass, because he makes like, man, let me show you. All right. Let me show you with Groken. All right. Let's get into it before I lose my damn mind talking all this gibberish over here. So my man, Kenneth Rocafort, I made a video on Groken 2. When I got my Kickstarter in, I took and could not put it down. Like it was a book that I could not put down. And I thought, why not put this online? People need to see this. I know comics are bad right now. Like there's no doubt in my mind. You go through stuff right now, it's not pleasurable. There's maybe 3 or 4 books that you can pull out right now where you're like, man, that's some good stuff. Other than that, you're having a hard time finding stuff. And you're not going to be let down at all with this book. So let's get into it. Groken is broken down into a couple different books. I feel like maybe I should have researched more to understand why there's these two little books and then there's two big books. I believe that he made these big books and then people were like, I don't get it. Like, what's the story, man? This is too hard. I can't figure it out. Sorry for you, sir, but I can. I have a good imagination. And all you need to do is tell me what about the story is, and I can connect the dots. All right. So here we go. This book is just like the other ones, except for there's no coloring, which I normally love black and white because you can really see the detail. You know, you can really see the lines and the textures. It's so cool. This guy's art deserves to be on your wall. Why comic books are something I need to ask him. He's not really my friend, but he happened to be a really damn good guy and sent me these little books so I could catch up and do you guys this video here. Basically, what we're getting at as we're going through these books is Groken is he gets taken from, we're not sure who he's taken from, but he's brought to this place in the wilderness and raised by this man. This man is kind of sketchy. You're not sure exactly what it is. And there's a lot of little details that come into these books that will catch you up if you're one of these detail oriented people that just can't relax and enjoy the book. I've heard a lot of complaints about, I wish he had an editor. The editor's just not really good. These stories are magnificent. Okay. And I am kissing his ass, but he deserved it because everything is just, it's well put together. Like everything is sharp. It's clean. It's nice. I like the concept. And if you don't like this story, the art is so pleasing. You can just look at that. The idea is he's a child. He grows up in this cabin in the middle of nowhere. He's not fully grown, but he's grown up on books. And never really gone out and experienced anything, but he's read about it. Like he's very smart. He's intellectually sound. Reminds me of a lot of writers. They have no clue about the reality of life. All they have the clue is like what they've read or they've seen or they've heard about, but they've never been there. And that makes a difference in life. Trust me. Have you ever been in a fist fight and you've watched fighting and you study it in a book? Then you get punched in the face. Let me tell you right now from experience, it changes you real quick. All the shit you read about, all the shit you heard about goes right out the window. This book starts you off where he's in the woods. These people come and take him. Not without a fight, but these people come. He gets out. These people come. They take him. He gets out of his little like cabin thing. They take him, and then these are the people that kidnapped him, right? These two goofball guys. Man, I just love the style. I love the style of his bad guys. Even it's just nice, I just like it. So he gets kidnapped and they find this very interesting place. I was really curious about what happened, why we're here, how we got here. You can like guess, and that makes it fun. Even on the back of these books here, as you go through them. So big. Anyways, as they're on their adventure, they go into this area that's full of some kind of toxic gases. And that's when Groken breaks loose out of his cage. So, he's trying to hoof it from there. That's him breaking out of his cage. Somewhat. Right? And like I said, everybody in this part of the story is here. And at the end, it's you. You create that story. You're a part of this. What you decide is going on is what is going on, and that's what makes it fun. That's what great art does. That's what great storytelling does. It allows you to believe in the idea of what you believe in. Mr. Rocafort sent me these cards. They are freaking amazing. They're amazing bios. is Salvador. You'll see Salvador in this one right here as we go through it. This is the big bad guy. This guy right here reminds me of, I think it was Liefeld, where he did these Gene commercials for Miller's Outpost. And they had all these characters, and I believe one was something like it. Look how cool that is. This guy's Boon. Pretty dope. And here's the main dude, Mr. GROKEN. So these cards are cool. This story will absolutely take you and bring you to where you want to go. You want to be left. You want to be out of this that's going on right now, and you want to enter this universe and just melt away for a little bit. That's what it feels like. That's what I feel when I read these books. I want to just melt away a little bit. Just enjoy it. Anyway. Here we go in the beginning. And see, now if I had a microphone over here a little bit. Now, if I had just started here, and this was the first book I picked up, I can kind of see what you guys are saying. Where it's like, oh, what's going on, man? There's a lot going on. I get it. But if you allow your imagination to take you to this wonderful place, you'll see this is amazing. Art, the coloring is just so soothing and calming. Now, I'm thinking, now I might be wrong, but he has the same name, which is Old Man, the Old Man. The Old Man is the guy that raised Groken, and I believe it's this guy here. I believe, okay? But he's kind of going over these things inside of his prison, where as I'm reading this, I'm thinking to myself, is he locked away in this prison for how long? Seems like he's been there forever, but if he was Groken's mentor, it couldn't have been that long, right? Because Groken just got out. As we go along, we find out the prisoner's interaction with the guard. And he has a love-hate relationship. The guard's trying to piss him off, it seems like. But he's not really flipping out. You know, he kind of like, you know, something's up with this guy. He's something different as far as this Old Man. Like, you can tell he's something unique and special, but you're not sure what. Okay, so it kind of leaves a little to the imagination. How this huge monstrosity of a woman comes up there. It's just funny. Makes you smile, makes you laugh. Look at these dragons, are so fucking dope. I mean, it's amazing. Like, and he's telling the backstory of the land and the place where he's at, how all the dragons are gone, how humanity kind of blew them out, got rid of them. But there's hope, right? There's always one left in order for humanity to be saved. There's one left. And I think it's him, Mr. GROKEN, right? Not only is there one left, but we also find out that he is a bit of royalty. So the people in power are the ones that wanted to capture him, right? He could take over and decide. We'll find out on that. But number one, he's in this prison. It's been some time that he's stuck in this prison. But while he's stuck in this prison, he's figuring things out and he finds a way to get out, right? So he gets out and he needed this particular item, right? Like some kind of clock thing. But as you see why I felt compelled to share this book with everybody, it's just fucking dope. It's a really good book. And it's very unique art, calming and relaxing and soothing, like I said, but it's also sharp and like detailed, where you can look at this book 5 times and still at the very end of it not have seen everything that he drew, which is the sign of something that is worth checking out. If it's worth checking out multiple times, that's telling you something about this book. All right. And all these characters that he's drawing, you have a feeling here, like I do, like you have this feeling that there's so many more stories that are going to be told as we go through these books. Okay. That's the big bad. Well, one of them. Okay. And here's Groken, fresh out of the prisons. And he's ready to fight. Like, the only thing he could have done different is made this an entire splash page. I don't that the weight, the way it feels when you're looking at it, like he's just everything. He just came out of that slop and he's up there with his sword. Is just and now we start with the reds. His palettes are just unbelievable. Like you can just see it. It reminds me a lot of anime where you get that feeling from some of the art where the color and everything just kind of hits you in a certain way. That one called Demon Slayer. The coloring in Demon Slayer will just engulf you into that alone. Without even knowing the story, you can just look at those pages or those coloring. The dude's dead and he's stepping into this deal from this caterpillar looking dude and he's bringing him back to life. And you can tell this is another grouping here of people that we're going to get to know a little better. I'm hoping. And we're, like everything that they have going on here, how it's going. Like one thing that Kenneth Rocafort does that better than anybody, and you tell me who you have seen draw prettier women. My God. I don't know if it's because he's in Puerto Rico and there's just some gorgeous women there, but my man knows how to draw some really, really pretty looking chicks. And that's awesome. Now we enter into this bar and you start seeing some more characters. These are just grimy dudes. Like, I want to know the story here, So we're looking at this old lady that's been helping him out. What is this old lady about? Look how gorgeous the women he draws. So our hero is at his last wit, He is just done. He's spent from all the crap he's been through. And here's his savior, right? These are the guards trying to take him back to prison. Oh, look at that. The art and the coloring is just, ay, ay, ay. Ah. I've had girlfriends like this. Let me be real with you. What you get out of it is this guy's last meal. This prisoner's last meal. They're shutting off his door. They're just going to put a wall up. So there's no more door. It's like his last meal. This girl. And he's enjoying the food. Here's the guy. I would say the royalty. The royalty that's out to get Groken. The Inquisitor. That's what it is. The Inquisitor. Kind of looks like a Star Wars thing a little bit. Like, I mean, there's nothing in this world that is not compared to something else. You can't go through life without looking at things and taking some of it with you. So some of these things do connect and relate to other things, but that does not make it less. It just makes you understand the basis of where he's coming from. This thing is insane. That is so cool. Why is he not in an X-Men book? Oh my God. I would die to have Kenneth Rocafort on the X-Men. Like after this, I am going to go through all of his Red Hood and the Outsiders or something like that. I'm going to check all those out. Right? You find out this really pretty fairy is, she's the old lady. as you're going through, just a real disguise to get where she needed to go. His display of coloring and his ideas, like he has really good mind for the way the stories should go. The way his panels and his pacing are just he's a masterful artist. And I do not give high praise like that very often. There's not too many people that do that. There's a lot of artists that I will say are great. Seeing his relationship to other characters near him, like the fairy chick, and how she relates as an old lady to these different people. Some of the stuff is very humorous. Some of the stuff is very macabre. Like you're not sure exactly when or what's going to happen with these little interactions, but you have that feeling in your gut, like, oh, something's going to happen. His biology, like the way he draws everything, is just perfect. Like, I love hip hop. I love graffiti. I love all that stuff. And it feels like we're living in something that's like graffiti. All I can say is it has this vibe to it. It's tough. It's rough. It's like badass, but it's still chill. Just the detail in her hair, the dirt coming off her shirt, a little bit of stains on everything, the rocks breaking off, the barnacle kind of deals there. Like, it's just amazing. The smoke coming out. I couldn't imagine how long it took him. I asked him, he said 2 weeks to do a book. I have to talk to him in person to reconnect with that. Because if this took him 2 weeks, hmm, there's no hope in this world. There's no hope. So now, this reading this book again, after reading the first 2 books, it added to it, like, a lot. But I still was not lost just reading book 2. I read book 2 and I was good. Like, I still was really good, Like, it still was a cool story and I still could follow it. You weren't so lost. You just had to put the dots together in your mind? And like I said, sometimes that makes the book more fun. So, these guys trying to steal stuff from people, they're doing this, there's different little storylines going on, but really the main thing you need to take out of this is just how magnificent the art is, how well the story flows together from one page to the next. Detail. I mean, like the knuckles, hand, fingertips, just gripping that, the way it feels when he's gripping it. And the background still just has that calming feeling still. Even if it's a nasty, disgusting looking bad guy, it's just the coloring really, really gets you. And here's another one. Another female where it's just that soft, beautiful. That girl's gorgeous. Ken, if you have some women like this that you know of, please, I'll send you my number. There's the king. He connects everything so well. And as you go through this book, you start to see how everything's connected in different details. You start understanding why they're there, what's brought them to this point. And look at that dragon. Look at that dragon. Look at the nostrils. Look at the rocks falling off. This is what makes a good artist great. Everything is so symmetrically correct. Sometimes you see when people do too much detail, they lose that symmetry of everything because they've worked so hard to break apart a little tiny area. They'll take the rocks over here and completely break it all down. But then you'll lose the weight of everything. That does not happen with Mr. Rocafort. Everything here just feels so heavy and yet still just calm and relaxing and pleasurable to look at. You know, and there's some heavy shit here. There's some real heavy shit about the end of the world, the demons and devils, and people coming back from the dead and killing these dragons, all of them dying. And yet, it's beautiful. There's our guy. I brought a dragon to the human realm. A girl with royal blood? Like I said, there's nothing that you can say that one look at this book, one look at it blows you away. It just blows you away. I've heard some people complain about edit. When you have a artist do his own book and put together the words and everything, that is a thing of beauty, and that is a very, very talented human being. We are in this world where before the internet, never have heard of this book. But thank God we live in a different era where I get to find out about things like this, you know? So our man gets out, he makes it back, we start learning more about his life. It's just so creative. So let me just say this. Overall. So overall, Groken is a 10 out of 10. I cannot think of another book that's a 10 out of 10. Man, let me tell you right now, I will never fall for bullshit like that. You will not find out that I will like a book because the guy sent me something. All right. But what will happen is I will give it a fair shake. So anybody wants to send me it, go ahead. My email is Federici, Federighi 93436 at yahoo.com. And I am open to receiving anything you want. I will absolutely read it. I will absolutely tell you about it. And I will give you a fair shake at it. I don't feel I need to go into details about this story because it's already out there. I felt the review should be just a review. Let's go over this. Let's talk about it. So this book has very good art. I would say 10. This, whenever I decide, which I already have a story out, whenever I decide to make a book, I will wait until I have money to where I can just send it to him with the story and say, hey, Mr. Rocafort, please help me to build this creation. Just because of how much I love this book. Now, his earlier stuff, do I say, oh man, I honestly, there's a little bit like it's not quite developed is what he wants, maybe. I don't know. Some of the stuff is hard to know if it's because he's doing DC's books, but this is all him and they all feel the same. So look at his stuff because you'll love it. The story itself is, I mean, when you break it down, it's not terribly unique or different. It's kind of like the same beats, right? A unique character is taken. This is every anime. The character is born with something unique, something that makes him different than everybody else. Not only does it make it different, but it makes him with the ability to change what's going on around him. Every anime is like that to some degree. But he's put in a situation to stay alive away from all of the bad guys. He grows up around the quirky, goofy father figure, right? The goofy father figure kind of raises him and kind of molds him a little bit in his path, but you still don't know who the quirky guy is, right? But in this book, quirky guy gets kidnapped. So then Groken's out on his own trying to figure it out. So here goes the hero's journey. He's trying to figure it out. Now he's read about all this stuff, but he's never adventured. He's never felt it. So he's out there thinking he can just do it, no problem, and falls flat on his ass, right? Gets kidnapped. Gets out of being kidnapped, right? Gets kidnapped again. Gets put into this prison where he is suffering, but he still has faith. He still has this ability to keep pushing. So he's pushing, he's gonna get there. And then gets out just when he's about to make it to freedom. The bad guy appears. One of the main bad guys comes out, right? And Groken doesn't have enough energy, so he collapses. This unique character comes out of nowhere and takes care of the bad guy. Not only does the character take care of the bad guy, the character evaporates him in 0.2 seconds. Thus, you have an idea of this person's power. So now you recognize that person's power and tell yourself, that level of that new character is so high, I wonder how that character relates to our main character, right? How does this new character that just evaporated this bad guy relate to our new character? The new character talks about Groken as a high level, highly important being and gives homage to them, kind of like kisses their ass, kind of like, oh, you're so great. So then you wonder, if she is that powerful, but she's kissing his ass, Groken must be really powerful, right? So you move forward. You find out some more backstory from the old man in prison, and then Groken comes out recharged with new weapons and a new adventure. Now that he's been battle tested a little bit, he has some experience and he moves forward. So that is a detailed understanding of what actually happens. And you can relate all those things to a lot of different stories. A lot of different stories have the thing, the thing that moves the thing that moves the things, right? Um, and they don't disappoint. I love those kinds of stories. I love the story where you can relate to, because you feel if somebody tries hard enough or pushes himself enough, they can do anything. And I love that understanding in life, because life is hard. Life messes you up. Like, you get put on your ass a lot. And if you are only your outside appearance, it's a very shallow life. There's nothing worse in life than just recognizing only one thing about a person. So, Groken is a story with a lot of details, a lot of deep understandings, a lot of relatable characters, and it also has this feel to it that makes you really want to discover what's. Thank you so much, Mr. Rocafort. I absolutely love everything you gave me, sent me. He also sent me these really cool stickers, and you can check out all of his stuff. Let me shoot the back here. Middlegraph, if you look it up, they have their own YouTube channel. He does some coloring and stuff, like drawing, Kenneth Rocafort. It's cool to check him out, see how he draws. The guy is a professional, but I give Groken a 10. It's a 100% 10 for me. And I know I would like to say 9 because it leaves room for improvement, but I can't think of what I would improve. I just read all of the Battle Chasers, like 1 to 10 and 11, 12, 13. The new ones that came out, it still doesn't feel the same. Like, Battle Chasers was great, but this has a more adult feeling to it, and it still has this, like, we're in store for something great. Well, Battle Chasers, they made the world huge, then they made it small, and it took forever to make more books. I like this art better. That's why are we talking about? But it just feels the same. They feel the same. It's like that knights sword, powerful sword thing where they got the thing that does the thing and it kills everybody, but they're still the hero. It's all the same kind of beats. 1, 2, 3, all the same. Most books have that. And if you look through them, you'll see it. Anime does this so well. They take the same exact storyline and they regurgitate it, and you still watch it. Why? Because it's damn good. Because we all love the idea of the hero triumphing or the hero trying, pushing himself to become better. So, my name is David J. This channel is Story Nexus. We want to talk about the greatest stories, and this is one of them right here. Groken is great. And I suggest you go out there and grab yourself a copy. He has a new book coming out. Check it out. I guarantee it. I promise you that if you check out this book and do not like it, I promise you, you will like it. So anyways, this is David J. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy your comics and please recognize them stories in there. Tell me what you think. I want to know. To all my friends out there, I hope y'all watched it to the end. And if you did, thank you so much. Subscribe to my video. But anyways, this is Story Next. This is David J. Y'all have a wonderful weekend or day or whatever. It's Sunday today. Stayed up too late. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, sir.